Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Justice League Dark issue number 10. This is just such a great book. The problem that I have is that not enough people seem to be reading it. And I want you guys to know that people can be turned on to this book. I was turned on to this book by you guys. Others can be turned on to this book as well. Consider sharing this video. Consider sharing somebody else's video, somebody else's written review of this comic book, of all of these comic books. Consider sharing because more people need to know this love. Dude, when Silencer got canceled, I was like, what? This book, yes, even the great James Tynion IV can be canceled. I just don't see enough sales for this book to seem to make it worth it for them to continue this book at DC. And guys, let's just face straight facts. This is one of the best books out there right now. This is one of the best comic books, not DC comic books. No. Not one of the best big two comic books. This is one of the best single comic books out there right now. The love of this needs to be spread because there's also a mention of a big event that could be coming up pretty soon. Straight out of the mouth of the Upside Down Man. What do you call it? Blink and you miss it. There's the name of an event that could very well come up. Don't put it past James Tynion. Anyway, this issue is called The Lords of Order, Part 3, Chapter 3. I may have spoiled it that James Tynion IV is the writer. Alvaro Martinez Buenez on pencils, Raul Fernandez on inks, Brad Anderson on colors, Rob Lay on letters, Martinez Bueno, Fernandez, and Anderson are all doing the covers, and Kelly Jones and Michael Madsen do the variant cover. Actually, I think that's Michelle Madsen. You know what? That's Michelle Madsen. My bad. The other one is Stuck in the Middle with You. So we get to see the actual incident where Khalid Nassour was watching Dr. Fate and the other Lords of Chaos, Lords of Order, having themselves a conversation. One of the very important tidbits that he hears is that these guys aren't actually gods. That's a little soft retcon for you. The Lords of Order are not actually gods. So one would presume that the Lords of Order, therefore, aren't either. But, they could be. They could be. It stands to reason, but without, they could still be gods, and these guys are just like, no, we're battling gods. That's why we're fighting so hard. Anyway, these guys are not actually gods. So that was a bit of a shocker to me. I'm okay with it, though, because it makes their struggle more real. It makes the idea they can make these kinds of mistakes real. And they've been making mistakes ever since the beginning of creation, for crying out loud. There is conversation in here about Perpetua, which is important because, this does all stem from the source wall breaking. So I genuinely, in my heart, I dig that. That is freaking fantastic. We get to see the plan and how it's supposed to unfold, and we see what the end goal is, at the very least, for the Lords of Order. They make a proposition to everybody at the end, the very last page on here, and it's not one that you want anybody to take, but I'll bet you a whole bunch of people wind up taking it, and what a great way to reintroduce these characters several years from now, maybe in the next Crisis, right? Oh man, freaking fantastic storytelling in this book, man. The art, out of this world. Cersei is playing every side, and I love that because that's what she is. She's a master manipulator. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't go so far as to call her a master legislator, but a little political joke there. But she kicks some serious butt in this, man. She straight up mouths off to the Upside Down Man. Like, here's this terror that just creeps, that just forms and shows up, and it's just like, holy crap, oh man, it's him again. We get to see how she's playing every side, and she's trying to manipulate everybody because that's all that she knows. It's a little bit reminiscent of what Darkseid has been saying in Justice League Odyssey, and I'm digging that, but is what it is. Look, I'm not going to say anything bad about another comic book in this comic book review. What I will say is that, there's a way to do misdirection. There's a way to do subterfuge. There's a way to trick people into believing one thing while something else is still there entirely. What have you now? There are other books out there that they don't seem to be from anyone's particular point of view. This book doesn't seem to be from any one particular person's point of view, but we're definitely in the team's point of view. We see that because these guys are all thinking as one for the most part. If one member, goes a bit astray and knows something that the others don't know, we're finding out with the rest of the team members, and that's cool. They're all learning as a crew. We're catching up to what's going on, the events of the world that's causing everything in this multiverse to fall apart. As a team, we feel like we're actually on this team, just not, blasting people with Eldritch bolts and things like that. But we're trying. We're definitely trying. Sometimes we're screaming at the comic book, "Don't do that! The Upside Down Man is there!" But these are the things that we're doing. This is where we're at in the comic book. We feel like we're actually on the team. So when there is a misdirection, when there is a straight lie coming at us, we feel like we're on the team finding out about it together. We don't feel like, we've just been straight lied to throughout the past several issues or so. We feel like we've been following the wrong path, And that's one of the really cool things about the way that Tinian the Fourth writes. And I am such a huge fan of this. That's why I'm saying, guys, even if it's not my video, I prefer it if it's my video, but even if it's not my video, please share something on your Facebook page, if you still got a Facebook, on your social media, whatever social media you got, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Please consider sharing, because this is straight fire right here. This is a great book, but as great as it is, as insane as this creative team is, it can and will be canceled if the sales don't pick up. And like I said, there's an event, I believe I'm seeing the first mention of an event coming up in here, just like the Witching Hour was an event. Yeah, Witching Wars. Dude, I am so looking forward to this, and I would hate if this comic book got canceled. I'm just saying, but it could be. So please do your part to try and keep the sales going. Make sure you're actually purchasing the comic book. I hope there's not too many people out there just reading these things for free or downloading them or something like that. Just saying, that is how books get canceled. And then these are the same people that say, "Oh, this book was canceled way too soon. Not enough people were buying it." Meanwhile, they weren't buying the book. I don't care what your excuse is. That's how books get canceled. So please do your part. Do something to keep this book going. I'm just trying to give as much a forewarning as possible. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.